What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today I'm going to do a video on what display case is right for you. I'll go through some of the cheaper display cases. I'll go through some of the more expensive display cases. Which ones are better that will grow as your collection grows? Which ones are going to be a little bit more of a pain to assemble? I'm not sponsored in any way. This is my own opinion of my experience and some experiences that I've talked to about friends who have also been in this community. When I say community, I do mean the 1/6 scale community. So let's get started. So this is the Ikea Detolf or Detolf, whichever way you'd like to say it. It is probably one of the most common display cases found in the community. It was one of my first display cases. I feel a lot of collectors are using this. It is definitely one of the cheaper ways to go, especially if you have an Ikea in your area. For me, I had to pay the price for the display case and actually have it shipped to me. Shipping cost alone is $150 to get to me. So it didn't make it that cheap. Fortunately, if you order multiple ones at the same time, it doesn't increase the shipping cost that much, so that's what I did. I have owned 6 of these and have since sold them once I upgraded to my new display case, which I will talk a little bit about later. Here is one of my details before I sold it. It is a beautiful display case. It's not too hard to assemble. It's all glass, so it's beautiful. You can see your collection all the way around. It does have a gap here where the door opens and closes. It also has a gap on the top as well. These are not dust proof, so you will have to constantly dust your collection. This is another thing I don't like. These are pre-set shelves. You cannot change the shelving alone the way it comes. You would have to do a modification, which a lot of people in the community have done in order to get their bigger figures like a Hulk, a Thanos, any taller figure that's more than 12 to 14 inches, you're going to need to modify these display cases. Which means if you are a quarter scale collector, this is not the display case for you. These display cases can also be a little tricky to do lighting with. I see a lot of people who are asking what are the proper lights to buy for them. Then they have to run the wires and try their best to hide them. Overall, it does not come pre-lit and it can be a little bit of a pain to light it up. Overall, this is not a bad display case if you are going for cheaper or you're only going to collect a few uh, collectibles, then yes, this is probably the display case for you. However, it does come with some bigger flaws. These can spontaneously combust. I will show a few pictures of that here now. So here are some pictures that I have obtained throughout the community. Some of these have just spontaneously just exploded. People have woken up in the middle of the night to the sound of glass just shattering. This is not uncommon, apparently, for these display cases. It's something that you might be aware of when you tighten the screws, just to be sure. Some people are saying that they didn't over tighten the screws, it just spontaneously happened. The case was years old when it occurred. So there's definitely something to be aware of when you purchase these display cases. Here are a few quick pictures of examples of a collection inside of these display cases. If you take the time, wire them correctly, they can look beautiful. Moving on to another IKEA display case. This is a double door display case from IKEA. It comes with a stand, and I actually own one of these and I still have it. I did modify it slightly. This one comes with 2 shelves. I modified it so I would only use 1 shelf, and I'll actually show you how I have this displayed here now. So here is my double door display case from IKEA. It ran me roughly $200 Canadian, and it was pretty easy to assemble, though I did modify it like I mentioned. It comes with pre-drilled holes, one on each side. You can see one pre-drilled here, and another one down here. I drilled my own holes and put in just one of the shelvings that they included. This would be pretty good if you modify it yourself for a quarter scale figure or a couple quarter scale figures. I got this primarily because Groot is pretty tall. He's from the first Guardians of the Galaxy. You can also see Drax and Gamora there on acrylic risers. And then we have the Ghostbusters up here. I got some backdrops. These do not come pre-lit. I had to go to Home Hardware or Home Depot, and I bought this light, installed it myself. And overall, this is a good display case. If you're someone who's only going to collect roughly 10 to 12 figures in total for your collection, and you modify it like I've done here, it's going to work pretty good. You can easily get a tall figure in there, you can get a Thanos in there, you can get your Groot in there, you could probably get a Hulk in there, and you wouldn't have any issues. Get some acrylic risers, and you'll be set. So 10, 12 max, and you can easily have this as your display case. I have to point out they're not dust proof. No matter how much I fooled with this, I cannot get this door to close fully. I've actually taken it apart and gone over it again. I don't know why it won't actually go flush. So that does annoy me slightly. But overall, if you're just looking for a very small collection, it is worth it. It comes with a stand, so you can kind of have it higher up. Overall, it's nice for minimal collections. This display case came from Lazy Boy. I have to say I love this display case. I've wanted it for a long time, and it took me a while. I saved up. This was an $1,100 Canadian display case. Despite the fact that I have a much bigger display case now, I've decided to keep this primarily as Iron Man. There's something about the setup that I love. You can see that I've stuck a few of the dynamic stands up there. I just Gorilla taped them on so I could have some cool flying Iron Man figures there. It does come pre-lit with that one bulb. The light shines down pretty good all the way through the display case. It opens just by a sliding door, so you can just slide that out, stick your figures in. If you are, again, a minimalist in your collection, you're only going to have a few figures in your collection, much like what's in this case here, yeah, this would be great. It has adjustable shelving, so you can come in and actually move all the shelves. I don't have many shelves inside this one, but you should be able to see the holes in there. Yeah, that you can easily adjust if you like. So yes, I would definitely recommend this display case for anyone who is looking to just have, you know, maybe 10 to 15 figures in their collection. Custom display shelves. Many people are doing this now in the community. I did a few of these myself. This used to have a few of my 1/6 scale figures in here. Now they have obviously my helmets and some of my little props. This was another of my display cases that once held my 1/6 scale figures. Now they're just holding my Transformers. I like these display cases to a certain point. They're not without their flaws. They aren't dust proof. You can see I got a little bit of a gap here. These always bugged me. These little overlapping glass pieces. I'm not sure why they bug me so much. There's just something about them. Now I got my Legos and a few Transformers in there. Overall, when it comes to this stuff, it can get pricey. I think this probably cost me about $1,200 Canadian, and that was actually a friend of ours who built this for me. The glass was expensive. I had to do the lighting myself, but they do come with adjustable shelves, as you can see, so you can customize the length, and, the height of your shelving as you need it. Overall, building your own shelving, it is a good way to go. You can have it customized to your specific room that you're collecting in. Here's what my 1/6 scale collection looked like in those custom display cases. I do apologize that the pictures were taken in portrait mode and not in landscape. I know that's a little bit hard to look at if you're viewing this on your phone. Alright, now I want to talk about the Master Lighthouse displays. I have owned 3 of these, and I have sold them. Unfortunately, I can't find the pictures that I did have when I had them on display. These are actually really nice cases. They come pre-lit, and they really are only good for one figure inside the case. You can fit two. I found they look a little bit crammed. I had Hot Toys Deadshot and Harley Quinn in one of them. They did look good in there, but again, they look crammed. You're not really going to get anything dynamic in there. It's a very museum pose kind of thing. And you wouldn't get their display stands in with them. So you'll have to pose them and just make sure that they can stand on their own inside the case. The lighting is nice. It's got a really nice feature where you can just, it's like a touch sensor that turns the lights on and off, which is really nice feature. What is not good is the simple fact that it is not cost effective. Now, what I mean by not cost effective would be you're not going to be able to display a overly large collection with these. It's just not feasible. It's going to cost you way too much money. In my opinion, this is for the minimalist. It's for someone who wants to collect maybe five, six, seven figures, display one or sometimes two at a time inside of it. You could stack them on top of each other. The nicest way I had one of mine was with the Hot Toys Jack Sparrow. He was in there and he looked great, and I was really happy with the way he did look. But he didn't fit in with the rest of my collection while he was in this display. I'd have custom display cases. I had had, other types of display cases, and these just didn't go with the collection. It was almost they were standing out on their own. So I would recommend this for someone who's only going to collect maybe a handful of figures, or let's say you do have a big collection, but you could bring this to work or your office and display one or two figures where you work and then swap them every now and then. And I think that would be perfect for somebody. So if you're someone who can bring, a few figures to display with you at your office, whatever the case may be, it's definitely worth picking up one or two of these just to have them on display there. Otherwise, it's not feasible or cost effective to own these if you're going to be collecting more than five or six figures. Overall, this will only take you a couple of minutes to assemble. Cost wise, these are around $90 US, which, when you think about what you're getting, which is, pre lit, um, eight different little spotlights, and it's actually assembled really nicely. It is a nice case, but if you're someone who's going to be collecting a lot of figures, the cost is not really worth it. It's only good if you're going to just have the one or two displayed at your office, in my opinion. Here we have my old setup. You can see I've got a couple of custom display cases here in the corner, an Ikea Detolf there in the middle, a really old black display case there holding a few small figures. We pan over here, we'll see the Lazy Boy display case. Has my Hulkbuster, has most of my die-cast figures, a couple of plastic ones, all Iron Man. A few prop replicas there on another Ikea display shelf there. The double door display case from IKEA as well. Ghostbusters, Guardians of the Galaxy. More IKEA display cases. All 1/6 figures, mostly Hot Toys. And we'll come on over to another custom display. Mostly Transformers, naked turtles on the top, and another IKEA Detolf with more Transformers inside. We'll come on over here and you can see the last bit of my custom shelving. Some DC figures, some Marvel Iron Man there on the bottom. And now we're going to have a look at the new setup. And here we have the updated look. I sold my IKEA display cases, well, the Detolfs anyway. I sold the Master Lighthouses, and it's all been traded in for a look like this. I was able to take pretty much everything that were in all the other display cases and fit them in a Modu case. We still have the double door one for now. I'll be trading that in for another Modu case very shortly. I did keep the Lazy Boy. So that's still here. I still really do like this display case. Still got my custom one for now. I will most likely be selling this for more Modu case because it just, to me, a Modu case, it's just cleaner looking. I love their front panels, how they come on and off. I'm still not a fan of this. I just, whatever it is, the way the glass overlaps. Got my transformers in there. And then last but not least, I got the display over here. So I got my NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Some Power Ranger stuff in here. A couple of the new Bucky O'Hare little figures I'm collecting there from, I think it's Big Boss Studio. And yeah, that is pretty much the updated look once I got the Modu case in. Alright guys, thanks very much for checking out my video. And I'll have more videos on new display cases soon. Happy collecting.